Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 4. And in all honesty, today is probably one of the most important days in this challenge. Now, whether you have followed me for a while or you are brand new to this challenge, one thing is clear: getting a really good hold of what your unique professional value is going to make all the difference in how you build your mid-career GPS. Now, I talk about this quite a bit in the book and obviously want you to go and check that out as well. But I'm going to share some slides with you today and essentially take you through an exercise that's going to help you build this essential component of your GPS. This is all about how you can position yourself very strategically in the marketplace. Because when you come from this place of value and service, things change. Your messaging changes. How you communicate about who you are and what you do is all different. So grab the worksheet, grab a journal. This video is going to be a little bit longer than some of the others. It's probably the longest video out of all of them, but it's so worth it. So even if you're not able to get to this fully today, you're going to want to keep coming back to this. This is key, because when you nail this, it's a game changer. And let me also say that if you have done something like this before, now is a great time for you to update it, refresh it a little bit, given when you did it the last time to when you're doing it now. It's always good to keep coming back to this and keeping it fresh. All right, let me do the screen share thing because that's what we got to do. All right. Here we go. To build your unique professional value statement, it starts with this circle. And in this circle, you're going to write down all of the people who you help. Now, it's important here that you do not be broad or general in your descriptions. You need to be as specific as possible. Not everybody in my organization. That's not good enough here. I want you to think about the exact customers you interact with, the people, the departments who you work alongside of every day. And I want you to put them in this circle, because who you help is vital to determining what your value is. Right? So the more specific you can be, the better off you're going to be, right? It's who gets to hear your message. All right. For example, somebody might say, well, I help companies increase revenue by cutting costs. Well, that's really broad and really general. It gets more specific when we say something like, I help small businesses with less than 50 employees increase their revenue by cutting costs. We niche down. This is a great opportunity for you to niche down very specifically about the kinds of people you help with. So it's different than saying I help companies versus I help small businesses with less than 50 employees. All right, so now pause the video if you need to. But here's the next piece. So in the second circle, it's what do you help people do specifically? Here, I want you to get very clear about the things you do on a day-to-day basis that are of value or of interest to the people you help. So for example, think of this as your secret sauce. In the last video, I talked with you about identifying your superpower. Maybe you're a connector or a really good communicator or a facilitator. Maybe you're really good at problem solving, or you're an Excel ninja where you can navigate those spreadsheets like no other. This is what's going to make you stand out amongst people in your organization or even people in the marketplace in general. I want you to be very specific and strategic here. So if we go back to the last example of I help companies increase revenue and cut costs, now we may take this to a different level and say, I help companies increase revenue and cut costs by examining current internal processes and data to determine more efficiency to save your company money. Not only are you really specific about the people, you're really specific about what you're helping them do. So now what I want you to do on your worksheet is list those specific things that you're doing to help the people you help most often. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to here, but take some time to write these things out. And let me just say, it's okay to do a brain dump or a thought download here of all of these things, because you're going to have time to really fine tune this a little later. All right, welcome back. Now that you've written out who you help and what you help them do specifically, to really hone in on your unique professional value, we need to put in this circle. And here it's about why the work is important to you. As heart-centered leaders and professionals, you're all mission-driven in some way. There's a story behind why you do what you do. So now when we take a look at this unique professional value, I want you to let them into your story. Use your story as a way to get people interested in who you are and what you do. I say all the time, we're all interesting human beings. But if you can get somebody interested in your story and what you do, now all of a sudden it's a different level of conversation. When we generate that interest, what happens is that we start coming from a much different place. It's this place of value and service that really allows you to help people solve a very particular problem. So when you combine all three of these circles together, the math geek in me here wants to say this, intersection of three unions, right? In this Venn diagram, that star there represents the component or the piece that is shared by all three circles. When you get to that point, that is your unique professional value statement. That is what allows you to come from the place of value and service. When you're networking with somebody, you don't say to somebody, you're a financial professional. You say to them how you save companies money and save them time. Or as an educator, you may say something like, you make mathematics really easy for kids who have struggled with mathematics all of their lives. The amount of value that we can provide in this situation is literally endless, because everybody who does something can come at it from a very unique place. It is that special sauce, if you will, that allows you to show up so differently than everybody else. My unique professional value is that I help mid-career professionals prepare, position, and promote who they are and what they do so they can show up to find a job they love or love the job they have. And I do this because going through mid-career was some of the most exciting, scary, and challenging times in my career. I left a job that for all intents and purposes was secure, stable, and tenured. And I gave it all up. I gave it all up because I wasn't willing to settle in doing what I was doing, that I knew there was more for me to do, and I went after it. And I leveled up multiple times after I left my tenured teaching position. and went on to do some incredible and amazing things. And even launching my coaching practice is what some would say would be toward the end of my mid-career range. I did so because I had an opportunity to help more people outside of my organization than I could internally. Your unique professional value is something we are going to continually come back to. We're going to come back to it when we talk about networking, when we talk about interviewing, how you tell your story very differently than you've ever done. And I will also share with you that as I navigated through these different jobs, it was always an opportunity for me to come back and think about what my value was at the time. And in thinking about what my value was, allowed me to show up from that place of value and service. So, couple more slides here, if you'll just indulge me for a minute. So, when we go to put all of this together, you're answering the three questions. Who do you help? What do you help them do specifically? Why is this work important or meaningful to you? The entire statement should take you no longer than a minute to communicate. You want people to react, to dialogue, to inquire, and get curious with you. That's the thing. I very rarely tell people I'm a coach when I first meet them. I share my value with them because one, it allows me to control the conversation. And two, what it also does is that I get to put the definition of a coach in their mind rather than them trying to figure it out on their own. Let me be clear on this next piece. Your unique professional value statement is not a pitch. Here's why. When we pitch, think of it like Shark Tank. I love that show, right? Barbara Cochran, Mark Cuban, Lori Grenier are my three favorite sharks on the whole entire show. And people come into the Shark Tank and they pitch their products to them. A pitch is quick and to the point. It answers who are you, what do you do, and what do you want? But a unique professional value statement comes from this place of service, and it answers those three questions we've been talking about. It is the difference between what you want and how you can help. If there's one message I want you to get from day 4 on this challenge, it is that I want you to come from a place of service where you can help somebody. Because as a mid-career professional, you have done a lot of things and have had many experiences that you can turn those things into a leveraged position where you can help somebody. And both, whether it be a pitch or a unique professional value statement, they're both going to answer the tell me about yourself question when you get asked that in an interview. The difference is going to be how you show up. And in another video a few days from now, when we talk about interviewing, we're going to talk about this very specifically because that is vital to how you start off an interview different than 90% of the applicants who are coming in. If you want to get noticed, come from a place of value. If you want to be like everybody else, pitch. So lots of things there. So here's what your challenge is for today. Use the worksheet, and I want you to craft your unique professional value statement, and then I want you to go and share it in the private Facebook group. I want you to share it with all of us. And then if you are not the person who has posted it, I want you to go to that comment and I want you to share what you like about their unique professional value. What's piquing your curiosity? What's generating some interest? What is making them stand out for you different than everybody else? This is one of those moments in the challenge where we're going to rely on the strength of the group. And look, people are busy. So if people don't respond right away when you answer it, I don't want you to get freaked out. Let's just make a promise that we're going to come back to this and make comments on everybody's UPVS so we can get some feedback, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right. That's your challenge. I can't wait to see your unique professional value statements in the group. Today is probably one of the longer days for the challenge. So here's my advice to you on that. Don't spend an inordinate amount of time trying to make this perfect. Get this out there and let us help you refine it and define it. So by the end of this challenge, you have a unique professional value statement you are proud of. It feels authentic and genuine to you, and you can share it whenever you need. All right. Make it a great rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow.